And I'd like to start with you, Mheshimiwa Kioni. And EU has come out and said that indeed, as much as they observed the election process and they gave a clean bill of health at that time, they've said that there has to be some form of reforms before the October 17th election. Is Jubilee content with status as is right now, with status quo, with the IEBC as is? They're ready and they feel like this election is going to be free, fair, credible, verifiable, even with the status as is?
Certainly, there are things that IBC has to look into and change, and certainly in line with the judgment. I think it is useful to allow them to do that, but we should make sure that it is done within the 60 days. Mm-hmm. We should not be seen to be pushing them outside the 60 days, and more importantly also, we should not be seen to be the ones dictating to them. Mm-hmm. Again, we remember this is an independent commission. We want to see them carry out the elections process. They need to do the reforms that they cannot be able to do within the 60 days. Unfortunately, we still don't have that judgment, mm-hmm. and I think this is where the judiciary also, we get them on the spot. But it is telling. I don't think it is useful to continue having these exchanges. But I now see Sonko here. If I can, he is a victim of his own work there before he went to court to block others from managing the town the way they thought best. Not that I am saying anything much, but this is, I think, is almost exactly what NASA did. NASA went to court and said, whatever the presiding officer announces, that becomes final. They don't want that as the final outcome. They now want to talk about the processes. I think it is, we find ourselves victims of the same thing. And I think what I would want IEBC to undertake reforms possible within the 60 days.
What are some of the things that they should be addressing, according to Jubilee?
I do not want to address myself to it. That is their nightmare. Mm-hmm. It is their headache. And we should be respectful enough to them to allow them to do it.
So there's no particular concerns
we are the ones we were injured most by the fact that it was said, mm-hmm. they had a problem with the facilitation of the administrative and the rest. The win that we had, they gave the judiciary reasons to take it away from us. But if we continue in this way of just screaming to one another, mm-hmm. saying that we cannot have elections on this date until these demands are... Yesterday, the leader of NASA said something that is outrageous, ridiculous, that we will not have elections until reforms are done NASA way. I mean, you start wondering, what is it? Is it? I think.
Is it maybe because Jubilee has not come out clear about what reforms?
No, I think. Let me tell you what I can say. Allow me. Mm-hmm. It can never be in the NASA way. If just say the Constitution way. Don't say the NASA way. And okay. I think what is coming out here is NASA. The current outfit, you know, it's been going through many, just like all of us in politics. I'm not blaming them.
Yeah.
We have all gone through many transformations. We don't even know what we are going to be like 2022. It's the reality of this country. Mm. But now it is NASA. The other time it was ODM. It was all those parties. Today we are Jubilee, we were PNU, all those.
Right.
We've gone through the same processes. That's not an issue that I want us to make it look like anybody is doing something that is not being done by others. But this is the thing. The political divide of NASA has always portrayed that other political divide of Jubilee as people who have always leagued elections. For the first time, we were able to demonstrate that it is possible for even the political divide of Jubilee to go around the country and turn it red.
Okay.
Get majority of MPs, majority of governors, majority of MCAs in parliament. I was in 10th parliament, and what we were always told, it was parroted to us by ODM, is that we are the majority party, we are the most populous party, and the most popular party. Now we have Jubilee, the majority party, the most popular, and the most popular party. It takes courage, it takes honesty, and it takes
Betty Jeremiah
I will answer, but it takes that to come to the floor of the house. And let me answer. I will answer that. It takes that courage to come and debate and allow ourselves to occupy the position that has been occupied by others before. And also, the courage to allow IEBC to reform what is possible for them to reform, with us giving them time without being seen to micromanage them, so that we still can have elections within 60 days.
All right.
Anything outside that, we want to get into a crisis. And once we are in a crisis, it only leads us to think and to conclude that Jubilee, now that it is difficult to beat them, the only way NASA can come in is through a crisis created by the fact that we do not have a clear way of dealing with issues outside the 60 days as provided for in the Constitution.
Peter,
you know, Betty,
closing remarks.
Betty, very few remarks. This is the first presidential elections in Africa to be nullified, the fourth in the entire world. And I thought this alone ought to make the Jubilee members, you know, get worried and to interrogate what were the reasons for these nullifications. It is something unheard of in Africa. And then the Supreme Court told you that there were illegalities and irregularities. Illegalities, some of which amount to constitutional violations. I sat through court. I can tell you that those illegalities cut through three phases. One, the manner in which technology which was to facilitate a free, fair, credible election was manipulated and abused to interfere. Number two, the manner in which ballot materials which had to have some specific security features under the contract, ended up not having, you know, those features. Jeremiah, let me tell you that 94 Forms 34Bs in relation to 94 constituencies were neither signed and lacked security features. Surely, shouldn't they be questioning who is this returning officer who did not sign and for what reason? Two,
some of those that were not signed were
whoever they were, if they were ours,
from your stronghold, so you can actually
should it work well for you that if they were from our strongholds, they should be removed so that elections are not nullified again?
That to happen.
We have to wrap up.
Number three,
just finish
related to personnel of IEBC. Who are these returning officers signing fake forms? When you are told the forms ought to have watermark, they have to have barcode, they have to have these features, and you go signing those things like the ones you are seeing on foodstuffs. I mean, so that we are saying, let us effect these minimum reforms as we save IEBC as an institution to conduct elections. Betty, this is the reason we are not going for the chair. Otherwise, we would have gone for it. But we are saying without the chair, you cannot conduct elections. Let me end by saying that the thinking in Jubilee that we can, you know, entertain a government with them, knowing what they stand for, is taking so far. We don't want. And by the way, I cannot be in a government with you.
Yes,
not that we desire to be with you in that government, but I don't think that is useful at all.
We have to wrap up.
Yes,
I've been speaking to Peter Kaluma, Homa Bay Member of Parliament, and Jeremiah Kioni, who's in Daragwa Member of Parliament.